Hi students, how are you all? Hope you are all doing fine, right? Today we are going to start a new unit, that is unit number 2, social issues. Social issues. Social issues means the problems that small you can see in this picture, right? Before page 18 you can see this picture, small children. This lesson or in this unit we are mainly going to deal with the social problems or the issues that some children and people are facing nowadays, right? And in this unit we are going to see, right, we're going to see a Oliver asks for more, asks for more, and second is poem the cry of children, right, and reaching the unreached. A, Oliver asks for more. B, the cry of children, it's a poem. C, reaching the unreached. These are the three lessons that we are going to see in this unit 2. And first we are going to see the first reading. A, Oliver asks for more, right? In turn with me to the page number 18, right? In page number 18, what you can see there, it says social issues. Read the saying given below and answer the question that follow, right? Home is the happiest place in the world. Yes, home is the happiest place for every human being on this earth. Yes or no? For all of you children, you feel happy when you stay at home, right? This statement says home is the happiest place in the world, any other place in the world. And two questions are there. What does this sentence mean? This sentence means that home is a place we can find happiness, joy, where we can play, you can play with your friends, you can play with your siblings, brother and sister, you can eat all the delicious food cooked by your mother, and all that is the things which make you happy, right? Next, do you agree or disagree with the view expressed in it? Why? Yes, we all agree that home is the happiest or the joyous place on this earth where we can spend time with our parents, with our siblings and with our loved ones. Yes, right? And in page number 19, here the title of our lesson that we are going to study today, and in the next few sessions, and we are in the first session today. And in this session we are going to see what he has given in this lesson. Oliver asks for more. It seems this is the name of a boy, Oliver, and he is asking something more. He is asking something more. What is that he is asking something more? See, today we are going to see this one. Oliver asks for more, right? Before we get into the lesson, right, in page number 22, uh, at the end of the lesson there is a box with the picture of the person who wrote this story, right? About the author, it says the one who wrote this story is Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is the person or the one who wrote this story, right? He was born in the year 1812 and he died in the year 1870. He's a well-known English novelist. Novelist is the one who writes novels and short stories, right? Due to his father's imprisonment, Charles left school and worked in a shoe factory. It seems that his father has been imprisonment, that his father has been put in jail, and for that reason he left school and there was nobody to take care of him. So he left the school and he worked in a shoe manufacturing factory. While he was working as an office boy, he launched his writing career. He was working in shoe factory as an office boy, and it is the place where he started his writing career. His novels Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, Pickwick Papers, Bleak House, A Tale of Two Cities, and David Copperfield brought him name all over the world. These are the writings of this man, Charles Dickens, and all these novels and short stories has brought him fame all over the world. He went on lecture tours to America and got literary reputation, right? He focused on social issues and human elements in his works, right? His stories, his poems, and all that he wrote, all are focused on social issues, the problem faced by human beings. Those are left alone with, those are not having parents, those are orphans, right? His main ideals are focused on this social issues, right? And I request all of you to write about the author in your notebooks, in your running notes. In page number 22, it's there about the author. You have to write this in your running notes, right? And in page number 19, all of you look into page number 19, and it goes like this. This story, or this is an extract from the novel Oliver Twist. This is only an extract, this is only a part of that story, this is not the full story. This has been taken from the Charles Dickens novel, that is Oliver Twist, written by British novelist Charles Dickens, born in the year 1812 and died in the year 1817. It is the story of an orphan boy. Who is an orphan? Orphan is a person who does not have both father and mother. Both father and mother, right? Story of an orphan boy named Oliver. His name is Oliver, right? His name is Oliver, who is brought to a children's home. Because he is an orphan, he was brought to an orphanage or a children's home, because there was he has no father or mother to take care of him, and for that reason he was brought to a children's home where for his rest of the life he might have stayed there, right? And the story goes like this. Mr. Bumble walked on with long strides, little Oliver, firmly grasping his gold-laced cuff, trotted beside him. Oliver had not been within the walls of the warehouse of a quarter half an hour when Mr. Bumble informed him that the board had said he was to appear before it for forthwith, right? Here, in these lines, Mr. Bumble walked on the long strides. Is a person here, Mr. Bumble is walking on the long strides. Little Oliver, firmly grasping his gold-laced cuff, trotted beside him, and Oliver had not been within the walls of workhouse of a quarter half an hour when Mr. Bumble informed him that the board had said he was to appear before it forthwith. And Oliver was informed by Mr. Bumble that he was to be present with the board of the members before he was taken into the children's home, right? Not having a clearly defined notion of what a live board was, he does not know what is a board meeting and what will be happening there, what is going to be there, who will be there, and all. He doesn't have any idea. Oliver was rather astonished by this information. He was surprised. What is the board meeting? Who will be there and what I should there and all? Because of all these things, he was surprised by this information and was not quite certain whether he ought to laugh or to cry, because he did not know what is a board meeting, what is going to happen in the board meeting, who will be there in the board meeting, what he has to do and what not to do. And for this situation, it says here, he was not quite certain whether he ought to laugh or cry. He does not know whether to laugh or to cry because of his situation, because he did not know what is a board meeting and what is to be there, what will happen, and all those things he does not know, right? Next, he had no time to think about the matter. He did not have enough time, because in his mind all things are running. What is a board meeting, what to do there, and what to talk, what will happen, on all those things. He did not have enough time to think about that matter. Mr. Bumble asked Oliver to follow him into a large, vast room where 8 or 10 fat gentlemen were sitting around the table. Right? This Bumble told him while taking this Oliver with him. He said he has to appear in front of the board members, and this boy did not have any time to think over it. And this man asked him to follow him to large white washed room where there were 8 or 10 fat gentlemen. Those gentlemen are fat. They are very big and they are very fat. They are sitting around the table. There are almost 8 and 10 gentlemen or elderly people sitting around that table, which is inside that whitewashed room. Right at the top of the table, seated in an armchair rather higher than the rest, was a particularly fat gentleman. Right, you can see in the picture, right, or some people are gathered and in front of them a fat above them a fat gentleman was there. Right, at the top of the table, seated in an armchair higher than the rest, was a particularly fat gentleman with very round red face. Right, there is another gentleman who is sitting and whose chair is bigger than the other people, who is sitting in the middle in the armchair. Right, particularly fat with the round, and his face is round and it is in red color, it seems. Right, bow to the board, said Bumble. Bumble brought him before the board and he told him to bow. Bowing means like this. It's a kind of respect. It is a kind of respect. Right, said Bumble. Oliver brushed away 2 or 3 tears that were lingering in his eyes, and seeing no board but the table, bowed to that. Right? This boy, he did not know what is going to happen and why he is there and what these people are going to say. But his eyes are filled with tears, and he wiped his tears. He wiped his tears because he is feeling bad for his condition. Right, all he can see is that there is only the table in front of him. He could not see because of his tears in his eyes, and he just bowed by seeing the table in front of him. He could not see all the people because his eyes are filled with tears. Right, and he bowed to that. What's your name, boy? What's your name, boy? This is the question, said the gentleman who is sitting in the high chair. Right, rest of them are sitting in some low chairs, and the one who is sitting in the middle has a high chair. He might be the head of this gentleman. Right, Oliver was frightened at the sight of so many gentlemen. After looking at all of those gentlemen, he was frightened. He got fear, which made him tremble. Tremble means he was shivering. By looking at all those gentlemen, all those elderly people, he was shivering. Right, because of fear. The beadle gave him a tap on his back with his cane, which made him cry. Right, now the Bumble gave him a shot on his back, and because of hitting him on his back, this boy cried. A tap on his back with cane. Cane means stick, which made him cry. He was crying from before because of his condition, and now when he was asked what is his name, when he did not talk anything, the man who is next to him, he has a stick in his hand and he beats this boy with the stick, and this makes the boy cry more. Right, boys, said gentleman in high chair, listen to me. You know you are an orphan. You know that you are an orphan. You did not have parents. I suppose. He said, I think that you don't have parents. Right? What's that, sir? Inquired poor Oliver. He said he did not understand what this gentleman is saying. The words orphan mean. He said, what did he say? What does he mean? Right? This boy is a fool, I thought he was, said the gentleman in the white waistcoat. There is another gentleman who said that this boy might be a fool because he's uh, asking what is an orphan. He thought this boy is did not have any knowledge, and this gentleman who is in white waistcoat, he said he might be a ignorant boy or a foolish boy, right? In the next page 20, hush, said the gentleman who had spoken first in the high chair. You know you have got no father or mother. He did not know when the gentleman who is sitting in the high chair said that he is an orphan. He did not understand that word. That's why he said, what does it mean? Right? And this gentleman who sat in the high chair again said, you know you have got no father or mother. He said, you don't have a father or a mother, that you were brought up by the parish, weren't you? He said, since you don't have a father and mother, here you were brought by the parish people here. He said, weren't you? Yeah. Yes, sir, replied Oliver, weeping bitterly. He was crying, right? Because he was beaten by the Bumble, this Mr. Bumble, and when he was asked that he was brought by the parish because he didn't have parents, he said, yes, sir, replied Oliver, weeping bitterly. He was crying bitterly, right? What are you crying for? Because he was crying, he answered while crying, what are you crying for? Inquired the gentleman in the white waistcoat. The one who was wearing white waistcoat asked him why he was crying, what was the reason for he was crying. I hope you say your parents' prayers every night, he said. I think that every night before going to bed you pray and sleep, right? Said another gentleman in gruff voice, and pray for the people who feed you and take care of you like a Christian, he said. The other man, who in a gruff voice, said, I hope you say your prayers every night, said the other gentleman in gruff voice, and pray for the people who feed you and take care of you like a Christian, right? Yes, sir, stammered the boy. Yes, sir, stammered the boy. He said, yes, every day I pray for the ones who feed me and those who take care of me. He said, yes. Well, you have come here to be educated. They are saying you have come here to be educated in the children's home and taught a useful trade. Said the red-faced gentleman in the high chair. Right? He said, you have come here to be educated. They have brought this boy to get him studied there. And also a useful trade, said the red-faced gentleman in the high chair. Right? So you will begin to pick oakum tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, added surely one in the white waistcoat. What is the meaning of oakum? Loose fiber obtained by untwining and picking apart old ropes. Oakum means loose fiber obtained by untwisting and picking apart old ropes, right? And his work is to pick oakum, the fiber that is dropped from the old fiber, that is early in the 6 in the morning, added the surely one who is in the white waistcoat, right? Oliver bowed lowly, directed by the beadle, and was then hurried away to a large ward where on a rough hard bed he sobbed himself to sleep, right? Oliver bowed. He was instructed what to do, and early in the morning in 6 o'clock he must get up early in the morning in the 6 o'clock, and he should collect all the fiber that is fallen from the old fiber, loose fiber apart old ropes, the fiber which is collected from the old ropes. That is his work or his duty early in the morning, right? And he bowed lowly, directed the beadle, and was then hurried into a large ward or a large room where on a rough and hard bed he sobbed himself to sleep. And he was taken into room and he was given his bed, and his bed was hard, and he there cried and he slept that night himself. And the remaining of the story we'll see in the next session. Hope you all have understood what we have learned in this session. Thank you all.